Hey there, YouTube family. Welcome back to our channel, where we dive deep into the complexities of mental health, personal development, and family dynamics. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on our latest videos. Today, we're tackling a crucial yet often overlooked topic: the hidden dangers of narcissistic mothers, what they don't want you to know. Grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and let's get started. Narcissistic mothers present a unique and challenging dynamic within families. Their behaviors can significantly impact their children's mental and emotional health, often leaving lasting scars that extend into adulthood. Understanding these hidden dangers is the first step toward healing and breaking the cycle. What is narcissism? Narcissism, as a psychological condition, falls under Narcissistic Personality Disorder, NPD, in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, DSM-5. It's characterized by a pervasive pattern of grandiosity, a constant need for admiration, and a lack of empathy. Narcissists typically exhibit an inflated sense of their own importance, believe they are special, and have an excessive need for attention and validation. Traits of a narcissistic mother. Narcissistic mothers display several distinct traits that differentiate them from other types of difficult parents. These traits can manifest in various behaviors that subtly or overtly harm their children. Here are some key characteristics. 1. Excessive need for control. Narcissistic mothers often seek to control every aspect of their children's lives. This control can extend to choices about friends, hobbies, education, and even personal beliefs. The mother's need to dominate stems from a desire to maintain her image and authority. 2. Lack of empathy. A defining feature of narcissism is the inability to empathize with others. Narcissistic mothers are unable to understand or care about their children's feelings, leading to emotional neglect and invalidation. 3. Conditional love. Love and affection from a narcissistic mother are often conditional. She may shower her child with praise and attention when they meet her expectations but withdraw affection when they don't. This creates a cycle of approval-seeking behavior in the child. 4. Manipulation and guilt-tripping. Narcissistic mothers are adept at manipulating their children to get what they want. They use guilt, shame, and emotional blackmail to maintain control and assert dominance. 5. Envy and competitiveness. These mothers may feel envious of their children's successes and strive to outshine them. They might belittle their achievements or take credit for them to maintain their own sense of superiority. The hidden dangers. The behaviors of narcissistic mothers can have profound and often hidden impacts on their children. These dangers manifest in various ways, affecting the children's mental health, relationships, and overall well-being. Emotional and psychological abuse. Narcissistic mothers frequently engage in emotional and psychological abuse, though it may not always be overt. This abuse can include constant criticism, belittling comments, and unpredictable emotional reactions. Over time, these behaviors can erode a child's self-esteem, leading to chronic feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. Development of unhealthy coping mechanisms. Children of narcissistic mothers often develop unhealthy coping mechanisms to deal with the constant stress and emotional turmoil. These might include perfectionism, people-pleasing, or even self-destructive behaviors. These coping strategies can hinder personal growth and lead to mental health issues like anxiety and depression. Strained relationships. The impact of a narcissistic mother extends beyond the immediate family. Children raised in such an environment may struggle to form healthy relationships later in life. They might have trust issues, fear intimacy, or replicate the narcissistic behaviors they observed, continuing the cycle of dysfunction. Identity and self-worth issues. Growing up with a narcissistic mother can distort a child's sense of self. Constantly seeking validation and approval can make it difficult for them to develop a strong, independent identity. They may struggle with self-worth and have an excessive need for external validation to feel good about themselves. Physical health problems. The chronic stress and emotional turmoil associated with having a narcissistic mother can take a toll on physical health. Research has shown that prolonged stress can lead to a range of health issues, including cardiovascular problems, weakened immune function, and gastrointestinal disorders. Why they don't want you to know. Narcissistic mothers go to great lengths to maintain their image and control, often hiding their abusive behaviors from the outside world. Understanding why they don't want you to know about these hidden dangers is crucial in recognizing the full scope of their impact. Preserving their image. Narcissistic mothers are often obsessed with their image. They project an image of a perfect, loving parent to the outside world while hiding their abusive behaviors behind closed doors. Admitting to or exposing their true nature would shatter this carefully constructed facade. Maintaining control. Knowledge is power. Narcissistic mothers understand that if their children or others recognize their manipulative and abusive tactics, they could lose control. Keeping their children in the dark about these behaviors ensures they maintain dominance and authority. Fear of rejection. Narcissists fear rejection and abandonment more than anything. Admitting to their abusive behaviors could lead to rejection by their children, family, or community. To avoid this, they manipulate the narrative to present themselves as the victim or the martyr. Steps toward healing. Recognizing the hidden dangers of having a narcissistic mother is the first step toward healing. Here are some strategies to help cope with and overcome the effects of this toxic relationship. 1. Seek professional help. Therapy can provide a safe space to explore and heal from the trauma inflicted by a narcissistic mother. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and other therapeutic approaches can help reframe negative thought patterns and develop healthier coping mechanisms. 2. Set boundaries. Establishing clear boundaries is essential in dealing with a narcissistic mother. This might include limiting contact, avoiding certain topics of conversation, or refusing to engage in manipulative behaviors. 3. Build a support system. Surround yourself with supportive friends, family, or support groups who understand and validate your experiences. A strong support system can provide emotional strength and encouragement during the healing process. 4. Practice self-care. Prioritize self-care to nurture your mental and physical well-being. Engage in activities that bring you joy, practice mindfulness, and take time to relax and recharge. 5. Educate yourself. Learning about narcissism and its effects can empower you to recognize and challenge the manipulative tactics used by your mother. Knowledge can be a powerful tool in breaking free from the cycle of abuse. Thank you so much for joining us today to explore the hidden dangers of narcissistic mothers, what they don't want you to know. It's a complex and sensitive topic, but understanding these dynamics is crucial for healing and moving forward. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who might benefit, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insightful content. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. Until next time, take care and stay strong.
Today marks the beginning of an exhilarating journey into the enigmatic realm of aging narcissists. Traversing its winding paths, we find that aging is a rugged expedition. Our vigor wanes, an atmosphere of fear envelopes us, and the looming specter of death casts its shadow. Yet, amidst this unpredictable landscape, we glimpse the treacheries that time has wrought upon us. We harvest the rewards of our toil by unearthing the fundamental truths that define our essence. As we embrace the profound joys of enduring bonds with loved ones and steadfast assurance, our superficial desires gradually relinquish their hold. People who are naturally narcissistic find it harder and harder to show thanks as they get older. They feel weak, scared, and angry as they see the years going by and see that the source of selfish nourishment is drying up. As they get older, narcissists who depend on external factors like looks, money, fame, connections, or job successes to boost their fragile sense of self-worth lose their defenses, their allure fades, and they lose control over others. They used to be in charge of their social circles and use sneaky ways to manipulate others, but as they get older, their circle gets smaller. They can't count on their physical attractiveness or charisma to get people to do what they want anymore. As their good looks fade, they become less important in a society that loves young people. This makes it harder for them to hold on to power, control, and a weak sense of self-worth, which leads them to the depths of despair. As time goes on, narcissists face a harsh truth. The ways they usually get narcissistic material start to fail. Narcissists build their identities on shaky ground, while emotionally mature people base their lives on love, healthy relationships, and a feeling of belonging. They have trouble making real connections because they aren't emotionally or psychologically intelligent. Instead, they depend on external validation, superficiality, and love to keep their fragile egos up. Keeping up this reliance on outside approval gets harder for them as they get older. As people get older, narcissists face big problems because their normal strategies stop working, leaving them struggling to find their way in a social world that is changing. Because of this, they often abuse, take advantage of, manipulate, become overly sensitive, get angry, and be self-centered. The trip for an older narcissist is without mercy and grace, and it is marked by a slow loss of mental and physical abilities. They used to be very strong, but now they look weak and wilted, nothing like how they used to be. When they look at themselves in the mirror, they are shocked and angry, and they refuse to accept how weak they are becoming. It's a protest against the monotony that is threatening to take over their lives. They are used to being admired and loved, so they can't get used to being alone and sad. Narcissists don't get wiser or closer to family and friends as they get older like most people do. Instead of becoming more self-aware and empathetic, they take their harmful traits to a whole new level, becoming worse versions of themselves. Narcissists who are getting older end up stuck in their own fantasies and can't face the fact that they are getting worse. As time goes on, they become more and more alone and sad, a terrible reminder of what happens when you live your life trying to be liked and accepted. Getting through the waning presence of a narcissist is an emotional run that drains you to the point of exhaustion. Even though getting older is hard for everyone, the narcissist strongly opposes its natural progress. They don't accept the passing of time with grace. Instead, they strongly fight it, refusing to learn from its lessons or find wisdom in its journey. Like pawns that don't move, they don't have any growth and haven't gained the wisdom and calmness that come with time. As their power fades, their personalities become more noticeable, driven by a desperate need to keep control over the people around them. They become bitter, defensive, and intimidating as a result of their behavior. As the years go by, our true selves grow and show what kind of person we are. If we were naturally kind when we were young, it only gets better with age. On the other hand, people who hold on to negative see it grow over time. But for narcissists, getting older brings out their worst traits in a bigger way. Desperation, delusion, anxiety, anger, abuse, and loneliness. The old ego still can't find wisdom or humility because they are so set on their sense of entitlement. Instead of growing up in a mature way, time only makes their expectations stronger, expecting others to always pay attention and follow their lead. Under the surface, they are frustrated, and when their wants aren't met, they lash out in angry rants and manipulative behavior. Manipulation is the most powerful tool that an older ego has at their disposal. They have been practicing the dark art of gaslighting for years and have a group of loyal followers who help them carry out their plans perfectly. As we go through life, the layers that hide our true selves slowly come off, showing who we really are. Indeed, this discovery is true even for narcissists, whose once glowy appeal fades over time. Aging narcissists use different methods to control and manage the people around them because they can't easily captivate them with their fading beauty and charm. They use people's sympathy and guilt about their getting older as a tool to get what they want. At first, narcissists who are getting older may strongly deny that truth is creeping in, desperately holding on to the remnants of their youth. They look at every wrinkle and gray hair with great care, desperately trying to look young to go against what society thinks of getting older. But there is a greater truth behind this mask. Getting older shows the true nature of narcissists by showing how they only care about themselves and how easily they can be manipulated and envious. When they see other people's success and happiness, it makes them feel jealous and painfully reminds them of how inadequate they think they are. Most people deal with the inevitable knowledge and grace that comes with getting older with grace, but narcissists are different. Their never-ending need for love and attention only gets stronger over time, pushing them to do desperate things to make up for the fact that they are becoming less attractive. They are always filled with anger and bitterness, which makes it hard for them to get along with other people. Many people find a deep sense of satisfaction as they get older, especially as they reach their 50s. Narcissists, on the other hand, find this time of life impossible to get through. After spending their whole lives being in charge and dominant, getting older becomes an enemy they can't beat. Narcissists who are older often have to deal with broken relationships. People who are no longer with a bad partner move on because they can't stand being around them anymore. Even their older children, who are aware of how manipulative they can be, set limits to protect their own families, often by pulling away or breaking off all ties. Money problems make it harder for narcissists who are getting old. They are known for showing off their wealth in a showy way, and they often spend a lot of money to keep up the appearance of being rich. But as resources run out, money becomes a cause of conflict, making their problems even worse. They can't control their impulses, which leads to expensive addictions and growing debt that makes them open to losing money in old age. Narcissists who are getting older desperately try to stay in charge and feel like they are still important while they are going downhill. They protect their fragile sense of superiority by putting down others based on their race, gender, or any other trait that makes them different. This keeps them from facing their own fears. This defense system keeps up their false idea of themselves as divine beings. Narcissists are amazing at finding flaws in other people and situations and making them seem much worse than they really are. As they get older, their standards become less realistic, which makes them unhappy all the time. They have a fragile ego and an inflated sense of self, which makes it hard for them to accept their flaws and limits as their power fades. To keep up the illusion that they are better than others, they make up stories that put the blame for their fall on other people. Surprisingly, narcissists who are older become even more self-centered. It may sound crazy, but narcissists become even more obsessed with themselves as they get older. When the admiration they used to get for their looks, money, or intelligence fades, they focus even more on the person they love and hate the most, themselves. As a crisis, getting old brings up a lot of physical and mental weaknesses that are only found in narcissists. When they feel the weight of guilt, it shows how much harm they caused others when they were young. The threat of revenge looms over them, a scary reflection of the people they hurt in the past. Narcissists will never understand the idea of accountability because it is so foreign to them. They believe they are victims and blame others for what they think are their mistakes because they are so angry. They are always looking for someone to blame as they deal with the thought of losing power or respect that they thought was theirs. It's still hard to imagine owning up to a life gone wrong. As they get older, their anger, spite, and hatred grow, and they are sure that the world has cheated them out of what is rightfully theirs. They start to remember incredibly few things, conveniently ignoring their own mistakes while passionately portraying themselves as victims all the time, enjoying the allure of self-pity. With age, they lose some power over their actions and thoughts, so they hold on tighter to them. As their defensiveness grows, they become more likely to lose their cool when their authority is questioned. An old narcissist's temper gets shorter, and their feelings start to become more erratic and hard to predict. People who put on a nice front often have anger that is just below the surface, ready to explode at the smallest provocation. Aging narcissists feel entitled to act without control because they think they are better than others. They use their advanced years as an excuse to hurt others without feeling bad about it. They have never heard of reciprocal relationships, And because they don't care about or understand their partner's lives, they can't make real bonds. Their only goal is to have their wants met, and they expect constant love and attention from others. Their relationships are naturally exploitative and sometimes bordering on parasitic, as if they think they have the right to control and own the people around them. Navigating the company of an older narcissist can be difficult because they keep acting out. Aging narcissists are a sad sight when the curtain falls on their last act. After reaching adulthood, a lot of people are stuck in a lonely life without any family or friends to talk to. People who saw how bad the narcissist was in the past have left them alone, and their once imposing presence has been reduced to a sad echo of the unhappy soul they once were. In their youth, vanity was always by their sides, but now it often leads them into bad relationships. As the narcissist reaches middle age, they are less likely to get married because they have fewer children to share their life with. With all of their connections and bridges burned, they are living a lonely life that lacks the vitality of life, like a hollow shell ready to be embraced by death. In the last few years of their lives, narcissists experience a strange separation as they see their power, control, dominance, grandiosity, and webs of lies fall apart. But in the settling dust, all that's left is a weak, insecure person who is consumed by fear and painful loneliness and refuses to accept reality's firm grip. Chapter 4. Never forget how strong an older ego can be. If you let down your guard, bad things can happen. Even though they are getting older, they can still get into your thoughts, feelings, needs, wants, goals, and dreams and turn your life into a living nightmare. No matter what age, dealing with an ego is hard. Aging doesn't make people wiser or more humble. Instead, it makes them stronger in their old ways, which makes them even more dangerous enemies. Knowing this makes it very important to protect yourself from their tricks, abuse, and attempts to control you.